that is interesting for me is to ask, like, what people want to be known for.
Oh,
You know, where they're like, Sarah, this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that you asking
I'm
that question?
asking you. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that is a really tough one. I don't know. Like, good choices, good taste,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
good person.
Good career.
Just nice.
Nice.
Good career, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you got to eat. It's a job. You got to
Yeah.
keep working. But I suppose that I know more the things that I don't want to be known for than the things that I do,
Ah, that's interesting.
which helps working out the things that you do as you
Yeah.
go along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So making choices is kind of deductive. You're like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Rather than like, I know what I want and I'm getting, rather than that, it's, well, I know I don't want to do that. So what is it that I do want?
What other opportunities are out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Life, acting.
Totally. You got to have all the pillars. You can't build a house on like 3 corners.
What are the
Unless
pillars?
it's a triangular house, and that's probably not
Sure,
a
I
bad
think
thing. You could do
exist.
them. Yeah. Little tiny homes. Yeah, like if you've got to, especially if you, with this job like acting, you've got to have, compassion and empathy and perspective. And how are you going to do that if you're not engaging with the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And the people around you and the world around you.
Being a human.
Being a human. How can you pretend to be other humans if you're not being one yourself?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah Snook, thanks for joining us. Good human, known for being a good human.
Hopefully.
A person that makes great choices.
Yeah.
And that at the moment is working on St. John.
Yeah.
At STC.
Yeah, doing that at the moment.
Yeah. What's it like embodying this incredibly powerful female character?
It's
like when I said that, by the way, that you just lit up, and I mean literally the light just
on the outside and it crumbled on the inside.
Right, okay.
It's like, no, it is really great in the moment doing that, but in the moments leading up to it, like even just coming in before this, walking down Hickson Road, my belly is like, why did I choose this job in this industry?
Yeah.
It's like putting yourself on a stake every night. And I don't mean that in the sense of like what the requirements are for the play and that, yes, Joan burned at the stake and you have to do that every night in this play. But just like 800 people, hey, let's share a story. I hope you like it. That's scary. And when it is such a force of nature, big personality, teenage girl, you really hope to be able to embody that and grow enough inside that shell to like make it believable. So
Totally.
Yeah, you gotta expand every night and sometimes you feel small.
That is, I mean, it's hard to hear, but it's kind of reassuring to hear for me that you experience that.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm sure for lots of actors, yeah.
I'm sure they do. Everybody experiences that. And I think if it goes away, there's probably something, I mean, it'd be nice for it to be tempered, but if it completely goes away, then you've probably become psychopathic or something. Because you have no
appropriate for some roles.
It's very good for some roles.
Yeah.
But you may not have, some balance is good, and this sort of pursuit of balance is something that I'm looking for at the moment in my life.
And how often outside of acting do you feel like you're faking it, or does fear play a part in your life?
Are you saying that I'm faking it now?
No, not at all. No.
No, I think I'm not good at faking it sometimes. And sometimes it's like, all right, you just have to just get on with the day. And then maybe that's real as well. In the rest of my life, I guess when I'm not acting, no, I can't be anything else other than myself. But I guess the thing that I've been noticing lately, which is really quite interesting.
Okay.
Is like the challenge of playing different characters and what it is that rubs off on you from those different characters, and then what you choose to take on, and then like attach to yourself to move forward. And sometimes those are really wonderful things, like being able to speak up for oneself and being more direct. And then maybe those things, there are things that you shouldn't keep with you and you should learn to detach. And I guess it's nice to kind of go through cycles as an actor and go, all right, I don't actually know how to do this. So how do I learn to? What's the new lesson I need now?
That's awesome. So you kind of like grabbing all the good bits from your characters and like, I'll put that in.
I'll put it down the rucksack and keep going.
Yeah. Do you have a technique for dealing with acting problems? Like a process when you pick up a script and you go, not instinctively, I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, I tend to do a lot of research. And part of that is like, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, I think just last night. The process is like, it sort of becomes almost as if you may write an essay for English in year 12. You know, like you're doing a lot of research for that, and then you come down to this 1,000 word essay.
Sure.
I feel like that is similar in approach for when I have acting problems that I don't know how to deal with. I approach it like that. It's like scattergun, what information can I find in the world about people like this person in particular, if it's a real sort of autobiographical, if it's a real person. And then you put it all into the backpack and then you throw it away. Or you just leave it under the bed and then can draw on it later when you need it. But in terms of like acting problems, I guess that's if it's text-based.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So, and I like your analogy as well, of like the exam, right? Because it's kind of, you do enough work so that when you get into an unknown situation, the exam, you're asked questions on the rehearsal floor. You feel like you have a foundation from which to...
Totally. It's like as if you're preparing for a debate, like a debate. I never did debating at high school. But I imagine that's kind of what you would need to do. You need to be totally available and able to make any answer back to any question. And I feel like that is what you sort of have to do for a character, because you need to create every possible iteration of circumstance that could maybe even eventuate, and what are all the colors within that from someone, how someone else delivers their line. You're like, well, I feel different now. Why would I feel this? And you just have to fill in everything before you work out the path within it.
And so how much of, and I guess it's hard to tell, but of your performance then is predetermined, and how much is in response to what you're receiving? Yeah.
I would hope that it's predetermined enough that I feel confident within it. But then, because of the research, it can become entirely driven by spontaneity if something is given that is different. Because you feel then confident to make that choice rather than totally thrown because it's maybe off the path that you've just chosen. If someone kicks you off, you're like, oh, sweet, I know this path as well. I've been here already. That's the joy and the fun of particularly theatre acting, is when you get tiny difference of nuance that you can open up a new world within a structure that you thought was already familiar.
I think for early career actors or young actors, when they hear getting thrown off and knowing the path, they might think like that you necessarily intellectually kind of go through a process, but I wonder if you could talk to that when you're in it, doing it, it's not like you're marking it out. You just you do it.
I guess what it is like doing enough research to give yourself the confidence to follow your instinct. That's the way I have found that is useful for me to work. Others may work a totally different way, and good luck to them. That works for them. But everyone who has the confidence to step on a stage in front of people and fall on their face flat has somewhere, somehow, a little instinct in them that knows what could be a great choice, or let's just or has the confidence or just like the courage to just follow a path. And if you do, then trust that little instinct. All I'm saying is like that for me, that I have to do all the background research to allow myself to trust that instinct.
Yeah. When was the first time that you remember performing?
I mean, this isn't a memory. This is a photograph of me in like an apron going, oh! And I know,
Yeah.
I know that was a habit, I guess, when I was a kid, just like throwing clothes on and making them into costumes and being something else. I remember really clearly being in like kindergarten and, anytime we had free time, it was like straight to the dress-up box. And any other friend who had managed to like bring along with me was suddenly in a play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did, like school plays and things like that when I was a kid.
And so is acting still that fun?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely, can be. I mean, and now it's scary because now it's in front of 800 people, as in tonight.
Yeah. Literally a couple of
Or
hours.
it could be like in front of 1 million people, but in the moment of shooting it, like if it's a TV show, then it's only in front of like those 25. But it's still, everything you do has an energy that remains, I guess, and so you want to make the quality of that as high as you can in every moment and every approach to it. But if it's not fun, then it's just like you're hugging a puppy too hard, like you can't grip something like this and expect that it's going to have joy in life and live in that. You have to.
A terrifying,
You just have
inappropriate
to.
metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't love something too much like that. You have to let it have some space to live. So that when I remember to do that, then that's fun.
Could you talk about how to do that in the moment? When you're on set and things are happening,
Yeah.
how do you find your moment to play and to give yourself and your instincts room to breathe?
Yeah. I think the easiest way to do that is just to listen to the other person as much as you can, because they're more important than you in the end for what your character's doing. They're the ones who'll give you all the things that you need to create what you're trying to create. Unfortunately, sometimes in TV or film acting, that doesn't necessarily always happen because maybe the person genuinely budget concerns isn't available. They have to go and shoot something else, or perhaps the person doesn't feel comfortable. Whatever it is, for whatever reason, they may not be giving you the things you need because you're not in that moment in the way that theatre is, like solidly together, temporal sort of unity. But still, the easiest way to just open up is to listen to someone else, I think. I don't know in terms of like technical things that you can do, but
No, who cares about technique
Yeah, right.
if that's how it's done?
Just make it
You know
up.
what I
I
mean?
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. To just sit there and be. So, what is acting for you?
I mean, it's pretending to be someone else for a bit. For me, it's a job, it's a passion, it's a expression of creativity. I think that's a valuable thing for anyone to have, no matter what job, industry, or work you do. Something innate about being human is, I think, an expression of creativity in whatever way that comes out. So for me, this is mine.
It's a good one.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a way to learn more about people, the human condition, interact with people. It's my, it's my favorite thing.
Have you ever felt genuine fear of not having a career, of this not going?
Yeah, every single time the last week of a job is occurring, everyone's like, so what are you doing next? And because the crew, I mean, even Australia and in America, crew are almost always employed because there's a bigger set of people who are needed. They work, like it's a very like who knows who industry that, I mean, obviously there's dips and ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
obviously, particularly in Australia. But for the most part, if you're good and you're a good person to work with, if you're a crew member, you'll likely be employed. And, in the last couple of weeks of a shoot, they're always like, so what are you going on to next? And as an actor, you may not know what you're going on to. But as a crew member, they probably do. And so you always feel suddenly, oh, God, I'm not going to have work again. I don't have a career. I'm nothing. Which is not necessarily true, but it's always how one can allow oneself to feel if they choose to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so easy to as an actor. Because you're in an industry that you'd feel like you have no control over. So.
And do you have control?
Yeah, you should. And even if you just choose to or instill that in yourself, but it's like an ebb flow thing again. It's like sometimes you just feel like you don't, even if you do. And the things that you can control, then be aware of those. Like you can control your attention and happiness to other parts of your life that isn't involved with a career. Those kinds of things. To your friends, to your creative expansion of your brain, like, see movies and plays and those kinds of things. You have control over that.
Do you feel like you have curated a career? Or have you made choices along the way that you have felt have kind of stuck to some kind of integral part of yourself?
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, definitely. I always wanted to be able to, when doing something, know why I was doing it, whether it was a financial thing at the time or if it was emotional connection with the script or just knowing exactly specifically what it was about the job.
Or people. Usually that's the
people
three
you're
pillars.
working with, the creative sort of knowledge you could gain from them, the challenges that the job might give you. Just knowing exactly why you're doing it so that in 10 years' time, or even a year's time when the film comes out or the play is done and you look back and you're like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
You can go, well, good you don't like it. Great, you had a choice and you made it and you know why you made it. So let's look at why that didn't work out. Maybe it was these variables, maybe it was that. Maybe don't make that choice again. Or I've always wanted to be able to be in like a position of, in the future, 10, 20 years, and not regret whatever choices I've made up until that point. So then I feel like the way to get there is to be really clear about the choices that I do make and why. Rather than just like, yeah, fine, whatever, I'll do that. Think about it. Do you want to do it? And if you have to do it for money, then do it, but know you're doing it for that and don't give yourself a hard time for it.
Have you ever... Yeah, I don't want to ask the wrong question here, but obviously for early career actors, people who kickstarting, if they get offered a job, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And even if it's, let's say those pillars aren't in place, maybe it doesn't pay the right amount of money, or the people aren't great, or the script isn't great, but it's career progressing in some way.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta eat. If you want, it's a job, and if you've chosen this as your job, even if it is your passion and you want to make a career out of it, do it. Like, say yes. Sometimes, even if you're saying yes to go, I don't know why I'm saying yes, but I know I need to say yes, and I will trust that it'll work out afterwards, but I'll not regret it, because even if it's a mistake, there's something I can learn from that mistake in it somehow. Does that make sense? I know that's fucking hippie bullshit sometimes. But
I mean, so much of this is,
Well, yeah, I mean, and also, starting out early career, of course, obviously, saying yes to things because they're there. Saying yes to things just to see where they go. Just seeing, you don't know where it'll lead you. You might absolutely freaking hate it. And it might be the worst job ever, but you met someone on that you can go, thank God you're here. Oh my God, isn't this the worst thing we've ever done? And then 10 years later, you've made a fucking great film with that person, and thank God you met them on that terrible job.
that you've bonded through adversity.
You've bonded, and
Brothers
those
in
happen.
arms, sisters
You know,
in
those
arms.
totally happen. Yeah. So obviously, yes, saying yes to things, but at a point, learning to say no and saying, well, that doesn't feed me somehow, or if it's financially feed me or soulfully feed me, I can't do that. And having the confidence to say that for yourself.
And how much confidence comes from representation?
It's a good question. I don't know. I feel comfortable and confident with my representation. You mean agent-wise? Is that what you mean? Yeah. I think maybe the reverse is true, to feel that if you feel you don't have a great agent, then that you may be more likely to feel less confident. Rather than if you do have a good agent, then you'd be like, oh, well, at least I've got a good agent. I feel confident. The problem with both of those is you're the person being employed. They go out and they try and find you jobs, blah, 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 but you're the person who, at the end of the day, is in front of the camera or on stage being employed. Maybe difference of opportunities in the initial, but the opportunities then come back down to you and what you create from the small moments that you get to show who you are, show the actor you want to be. Like, if you got that much and you made that much out of it, doesn't matter who your agent is. If you committed to it and you sort of gave your all and was a good person to work with, people come back to you. And there was something else I was going to say about the agent thing. Totally forgotten. Oh well.
The other side, perhaps you were talking about what you can make out of a
Yeah.
small opportunity if you don't necessarily have great reps.
Oh yeah, totally. Because if you do have a good rep and you feel like you're being lost in the melee of other great actors in that agency, and the reason you went with that agency in the first place because like, oh, they've got this person, they've got that person, I love their work. And now you're in that agency and you go, but I'm getting no auditions. That's just as bad. That's not like, I've got a great agent, so people are going to look at me. You are very easily able to stew in your own mind saying, well, no one's going to look at me because that person's here. So both have pros and cons. Like, you could be the best person in the small agency and feel great. And you could be really confident because you know you're the person you feel like your agency's got your back. I mean, in the end, for every person that they're looking after, they want them to work. You just have to show them that you can and that you're willing to.
Yeah. Do you audition?
Yeah. Varied things. Sometimes it's an offer, sometimes it's an audition, sometimes it's heard about this job, want to be a part of it. Can I audition? Yeah, definitely. Certainly for American things, still auditioning, self-taping, doing that kind of thing. I've done less in the room over there because I've either not been there. I haven't spent a lot of time in America for the purposes of being there to audition. The longest I've sort of stayed there without a purpose was 2 months, and I went crazy. So not doing that again.
That's interesting. There's a lot of actors who go over there.
And I have a lot of respect for them because the mental fortitude you sort of have to engage with an industry 24/7 all day, every night, and be surrounded by, particularly in LA, beautiful people, talented people who you thought you had passion, they've got more. Do they actually have more, or they just say they have more? Don't know, don't care. But every single day, that killed me. Like 2 months of that, I was like, I gotta get out of here. It's not good for your mental health. If you can find a way to make it work, good on you. That is a great place to be available to opportunities. And the people who have done that, I have a lot of respect for. Just didn't work for me. I might go back. It might be fine.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Right now...
But up until now, if you've been there, you've been working, essentially.
Yeah.
Can I ask, because it sounds like you have a really, rational approach, sensible.
So pragmatic.
No, I mean, no, it's great. Because that is the antidote to the, I'm extremely passionate, to hugging the puppy so tight that it can't breathe.
Yeah. You love that puppy. Let it go.
Yeah. So what do you do for self-care to look after yourself?
That's a good question. Not enough. But I see movies, watch TV. You know, I love nature. Go on hikes, go outside, sit in a park. You know, like I think I'm guilty of work is great, work is positive, wonderful, but allowing it to, in terms of like the balance I was trying to talk about before, is like that when it's available and it's work you want to do, that can get too much attention, and so not enough on like self-care, self-love. So that's the journey, sort of path that I'm still working out. But nature, I think, is the best one. Just like watch a sunset. I had a really great tip about insomnia. Watch a sunset every night. I don't know how long it'll take, but it's really good for your brain to see the sun going down, and you're like, okay, another day. All right, what are you gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna sleep tonight. It's good. Something in your brain goes, I can sleep. It's okay. We've watched the sunset. Tomorrow's another day.
Every actor that watches this moves to Adelaide and Perth. They have to be on the West Coast just to see it go down.
Yeah, everyone on the east coast of Sydney is killing themselves right now. Like, I never see a sunset.
I only see it rise.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing sort of one right now. But also, like, I have a meditation app as well that I use. That has been helpful to, like, create space when you need it.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah Snook. Good person.
Hopefully.
Pragmatist.
Yeah.
Balancer of all the things. It's been a pleasure.
Trying, all of those, seeking, the seeker.
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
no worries, cool.